YouTube, what's going on, guys? So I want to do this initial impressions video on this CHAD muzzle brake. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I've been shooting with this for a little bit. I shot K&M with it, as well as some rounds at the range. I don't want to do the full review just yet. I need to put some more rounds down range and spend some more time with it. But I do want to get this video out so that those of you who have either pre-ordered or on the fence about buying one now that they're actually starting to ship can kind of get an idea of what you're in for. Because it is a little bit different than your traditional muzzle brake, but in a good way. Spoiler alert, I really like it. It will definitely become my primary muzzle device on my rifles. And actually in this video, I'm gonna show the CHAD on 4 different chassis setups so you can see kind of what the recoil looks like. And when we get to that part of the video, I'll talk about that a little bit. But essentially the CHAD is a tuner muzzle brake. The tuner is built into the front end of the brake, and it's that brass tip essentially, and that rotates that rotates and has a set screw that locks down into detents, and that's how you adjust the tuner. And from there, some people have said that it looks like a suppressor with ports. It's not. Obviously, it's still a muzzle brake, so you know you don't have to worry about anything like that. But the ports are configured in a way where there's not as much blast at the shooter, or like to the shooter, I should say. So normally I'm a double ear pro kind of guy. I have electronic in ears and then electronic over the ears when I shoot. I shot this with only one or the other, and it was fine. Now, me personally, I still double up just because, you know, I want to protect my hearing, but I don't need it to protect me from the blast of the muzzle brake the way that I do with other muzzle brakes that have a much more aggressive to the shooter blast impulse. All right. This one also has like the ports kind of angle upwards a little bit so that it gives you some downforce. So it creates a really flat, straight line recoil impulse, which obviously we're all kind of searching for, because especially when you shoot some bigger calibers like you know, the 6.5s and the 25s and whatnot, or you know, if you're tactical and shoot a 308, etc., you really want to do everything that you can to control that you know, that recoil and that muzzle rise. Obviously, this is not going to replace good fundamentals. Like you'll see in the clips where I'm shooting in the different chassis configurations, there's a couple times where I get lazy and then the muzzle rise goes kind of crazy. But if you drive the gun the way you're supposed to with your fundamentals, this thing is as flat as can be. All right. So I don't want anybody to think it's some magical voodoo, like genie in a bottle type device that you can just free recoil and slack off and it's just gonna be right back on target. You know, at least not for the bigger ones. In this particular video, all these clips you're gonna see are me shooting it with my 25-47 135 hybrids at about 2740 feet per second, roughly somewhere around in there. And so you can use that to kind of gauge off a recoil. Obviously, it's not a dasher. Dashers and BRs don't have any recoil in general anyway, so you know, you can use whatever and it'll probably still be mostly straight line. But especially for the 25s, and then the next thing I want to do is test this on my 6.5, because I shoot 153s in my 6.5. So I want to really see how well it works on that. Now, this particular gun that you're seeing here is the KRG C4 that's got the Joker theme paint job, the purple and green. So that gun, in the configuration that you see it in this video, is 20 pounds even. So it's 2 sets of gray op externals, no internals, MTU profiled barrel. All right, so I want you guys to keep that in mind. I'm not shooting a 25, 30-pound gun in this, and some of the other chassis setups that you'll see here in a second, I am actually shooting even lighter than 20 pounds with the exact same barreled action, same scope, same everything. I literally took out the barreled action and the brake and then dropped it in a new chassis at the range, all at the same day, same ammo, same everything. Literally shoot some rounds, take it to the bench, unscrew it, screw it into the next one, so that I could get it as consistent as possible. Not the most scientific experiment, but I don't have access to, like, you know, recoil sleds and impulse meters and all that kind of stuff to really like get into it. But I just want to give you the shooter perspective of what you can kind of expect when you drive the rifle well and when you don't drive the rifle well, and in some different weight configurations. All of these are shot standing tripod. So for height reference, this is all standing tripod. The target is at 600 yards, and I'll roll that in here. All right, so this here is the same KRG C4, but I decided to shoot it again so that you could get a nice baseline reference and everything is even for the comparison. So once again, this KRG C4 has two sets of the longer Gray Ops external weights, no internal weights. So this gun, as you see it, weighs about 20 pounds. These two swingers on the rack here that I'm shooting are going to be at 600 yards. I want you guys to keep in mind, obviously, like, hits and misses don't necessarily matter. This is just purely for recoil impulse. As I switched through the different chassis, I didn't even re-zero the gun, to be honest. I just figured, fuck it, it's close enough. And just grabbed my dope for 600 yards and dialed that into the scope here. So really, I just want you guys to see the recoil impulse and the recoil recovery with this. And again, this is standing on a tripod. This tripod is the inverted 2-section Leo Photo, and that is a sand-filled Schmedium, the regular Schmedium, not the +1. And that's pretty much it. Again, 2547, 135s at about 2740-ish, and the CHAD muzzle brake, man. All right, so this setup is going to be the Matrix Pro 2. Now this one, as you can see, has no external weights, but it has all the internal weights. So this one is also right around somewhere between, right around 21 pounds, as you see it configured here. Again, same barreled action, shooting the same targets, same bag, same tripod, the whole deal. For anybody curious, yes, that is the American Rifle Company CDG Action. And again, 2547, that's my ZCO, obviously. This is the Impact 2X reticle, for those of you that are gonna ask me about what reticle that is. I really like it. And again, switching through the different chassis, I didn't re-zero the gun at all, so I'm just kind of giving it my best guess as to zero, and you know, it's close enough. 2-stage Trigger Tech Diamond for the trigger, but as you can see, the recoil impulse when I apply proper fundamentals, that one clearly I let get away from me, it skied on me, but when I apply proper fundamentals, it's actually very flat and you basically come right back on target the way that you should. I mean, a little off to the left over there on the recoil impulse, but again, super straight line and really flat. All right, and this here is gonna be the MDT ACC Elite. Now this one has no weights, internal or external. Those are the Baker wings you see attached to the side of the rifle. I needed to adjust my length of pull, haven't shot that chassis in a while. But in any event, so this gun right here is gonna weigh right around 17 to 18 pounds as you see it. Same bag, same tripod, same barreled action, same caliber, everything. It's literally the same ammo. It's just leftover ammo I had from K&M. And you can see here that even with a 17, 18 pound gun, that's really minimal, man. Really, really minimal. And I'm not sure that there's a huge difference in this chassis in terms of the recoil if I had it loaded up with weights and it was, 23, 24, 25 pounds, or as you see it, where it's, right around 17, 18 pounds. And I know that traditionally we've all gravitated towards that heavier rifle feel. I encourage people to have a balanced rifle, not a heavy rifle. But when you have a balanced lightweight rifle, I think one advantage it gives you is in certain styles of matches, East Coast matches in particular, where everything is 90 seconds, like K&M that I just shot, every stage was 90 seconds. You can move faster with a lighter rifle. Now, I'm not saying that you can't move fast with a 25-pound gun, but if that's a little bit too heavy for you, a little bit unwieldy, a little bit unmanageable, or you're a junior shooter, or just a smaller framed shooter, a lady shooter, a lighter rifle helps you maneuver a little bit better. So to be able to have the straight line recoil like this gives you in a lighter gun, in those matches where there's a lot of movement, a lot of positions, a lot of targets, I think is super beneficial, man. Then that way you're not forced to carry around, a 25-pound gun all day. Not only that, but obviously this is a 25-47. So if you were to run the CHAD in 17, 18 pound gun like this with a smaller caliber, like a Dasher or a GT or a BR with, 105s, 109s, something like that, it'd be even less recoil. And I probably will throw this on my Dasher at some point and do a test as well, just so you can see. But I mean, there's not going to be anything hardly worth considering recoil at that point. But I will do that in the follow-up, and then I'll also do it with my 6.5 as well. All right, and this here is the last setup that I wanted to do. This is the Matrix Pro 2. I know you guys just saw that a little bit earlier, but this time I stripped out all the internal weights. So this chassis is completely empty. So it weighs similar to the ACC Elite, which is right around 17, 18 pounds. So, you can see that recoil visual to what the shooter sees through the scope is very straight lined, and it's just really, really manageable and controllable. It really is. Basically back on target. And again, benefits of a lighter rifle, you can move faster with it typically. And if you're one of those guys that can throw around a 25-pound gun like it's no problem, imagine how much faster and easier you can move around with a 17, 18 pound gun. I know that's not like the cool thing to say right now because everybody's trending heavier, but when you don't have to and you can still get a balanced rifle, like, and you have straight line recoil like this, what's really the benefit to going heavier? I mean, truthfully, what is it? If your recoil reduction is already being mitigated by a really good muzzle device, and you know, so what's the benefit at that point? So just some food for thought in different rifle setups. All right, guys, so that was a quick initial impressions on the CHAD. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little comparison, and hopefully that helps you out as far as, you know, seeing the different recoil patterns with different rifle setups and different weight rifle setups and things like that. I do think it's an amazing, amazing muzzle device. Again, this will definitely be my primary muzzle device on my rifles moving forward. I do think that you guys do need to, if you get one, take some time to kind of set up your rifle, because I actually was able to induce negative recoil on my rifle the very first time I took it out without adjusting my setup a little bit in terms of, you know, where weight placement and things like that. So BJ did a good video on that, and I can touch on that in the full review. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Drop them in the comment section. And you know, again, super excited for this for you guys, and yeah, that's it. Stay safe, stay shooting.